From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistix.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Ultragear Tec Gauntlet Season P, powered by Ballistix and Crucial, and our co-partners are none other than 656. We are back once again. It's a brand new day, and it's going to be my favorite boy here, Crispy Chips, or Crips just for short, and of course, my other main boy, the Universe. We are back here once again to put you down into the fray for another intense matchup. So let's head on down over onto today's fixtures and see exactly what we have cooked up for ourselves, because in a way, Truerippers versus M42, this is a matchup that could be a very difficult one for M42 in general, because they are a brand new team, and to go up against an up-and-coming juggernaut such as Truerippers here, Crips, I think that they could just be falling just a little bit short here.
Yeah, M42 on paper does consist of some of the oldest players in the country. You have players like Venom and Riggs who've been playing together since before Team Wolf was a thing. So that's how far they go. But that's just them. And compared to all the other teams in the competitive circuit, M42 are still a new force filled with some old players. So there's a little bit of mix of both happening on their side. But then when it comes to Truerippers, it's a team of young blood players who are very hot-headed and they have a thing to prove.
Yeah, Truerippers, we know for a fact that they're a group that are very rambunctious. They're just going to run around the server. They're going to try and take a lot of aim duels, and they're going to try to take you down. But in a way, Truerippers, they have showcased a lot of discipline in season number 2. They have showcased to us exactly what they are capable of when they are in the right element, when they understand what they really want to do moving on down the line. That's Truerippers for you. They know what to expect and they know how to deliver if they're having a really good day. But that's the thing, Truerippers, they need to have a really good day to make everything happen. And for M42, they have to hope that Truerippers are not having a good day, because if Truerippers are, chances are they're going to be going down into the deep end really soon as well, because Truerippers as a squad, they have a track record of being able to take down a lot of their opposition quite handily as well. But we're going to be talking a lot more about that later. So let's head on down first towards the group standings and see exactly what the group of death is going to be looking like just a little bit, because when you consider Group B, bad Trips, I don't think you were there to watch this, but at the same time, Group B, it's a really stacked out group, and I'm really scared about this one. But Universe, I'm going to be handing over the mic to you. I want your thoughts about this.
I mean, this is a group that you will expect to see a lot of gunfights. You will expect to see, too much gunfight for that matter. I would say every team here has got the potential to stay on the top. Every team here, could make it to the qualifiers, could make it to the playoffs, given their good time of the day. But that's the thing about this group, right? You've got so many good teams here that you really are gonna be wondering who really is going to get relegated at the end of the season, right? Because those last two spots have to be filled up by somebody. And when you look at each of these teams, you're going to be like, okay, wait, it's them. Oh, no, wait, no, they can't be relegated. Oh, them, no, they can't be relegated. And you can say that for pretty much every single team here. So, maybe in season 1, you would say Truerippers would probably belong in that region where, if they're put in a group like this, that, they potentially could be on the cusp of relegation. But looking at them right now, I'm nowhere close to thinking about the fact that these guys are, not playoff material, because they really are.
Considering a lot of things that could go wrong here and a lot of things that could go right, Rippers, I don't think they're going to be happy about any of this. They could just win everything out. They could just also be relegated as well. We don't really know, because M42 and RG Academy, they're rising stars here. They are the underdogs of their story in season number 3. They're the ones who have a lot more to prove, because Truerippers, they have proven themselves. They have proven the fact that they belong in the tier 1 echelon, and they can break into the tier 1 depending on how well they're playing. But they're still here on the tier 2, just going up and down accordingly. It's going to be really difficult for them. And as we are going to be talking about the side of Truerippers just a little bit more, let's head on down over onto their team intro as I hand over the mic to you, Chris. The thought about Truerippers being able to perform really beautifully here against M42, it's not really surprising because of the roster and what they have achieved in comparison to M42 being a brand new roster. But the thing is, in a way, the surprise element that M42 have could just be throwing Truerippers into a group.
I think the Truerippers individually are much more superior to all the members of M42. Like, both the teams have a very free-flowing style. M42 may try to act like they're a very sophisticated and a very polished team with some really well thought out strategies, but at the end of the day, they're also just winging it. And if that's going to be the case, and if they're going up against Truerippers, well, then Truerippers tell you what wings really mean. They will show you true heights and which positions they can take you down from. That's basically what Truerippers is. They really are adaptive and very versatile, and much more so than M42.
Thing about M42 in general is that they're a roster that rely on a lot of the mistakes being made by their opposition. And as soon as those mistakes already happen, they're going to be the ones who pounce on top of those mistakes and make sure that they will be able to capitalize on it. But the thing is, Truerippers as a team, they do make mistakes, but they also fill in the gaps with the really good trading potential as well. Will M42 be able to cope up against the trades will be the real question. But in my eyes, after what I've seen from M42, when they did go up against TEAMXO in a show match, I personally believe that they can make it happen. They can make things work out because their trades are really good if they're able to set it up properly. But in the heat of the moment, it's all about the adaptability. And Truerippers, they have it down solidly when it comes down to pure adaptation. We're talking about the side of Truerippers a lot. Let's highlight the side of M42 just a little bit more as we head on down over onto their team intro and see exactly what they have in store for us in general. Because in a way, M42 as a squad universe, we know what to expect from them. They're really strong, they're really potent, but at the same time, where do they fall short in your eyes? I want your thoughts on this.
I mean, we've seen this team, I think, before in a match where they played against, TEAMXO. That was not too long ago, and they were given a pretty good, competition, but it was EXO that came out on top of that show match. M42 definitely have potential. They've come out of nowhere. They've got these 5 players together. You know, some of them have been pretty great icons in the past, and they've just been a really, really, you know, I would say well-founded and grounded team in terms of, you know, experience. But that's where sometimes it goes a little awry, because you need somebody who's gonna be like, you know, a star power kind of thing, like, you know, somebody who's dynamic, somebody who's you know, completely, who does something out of the blue, who needs to, you know, be on the fly, just go at it, whatever comes to your mind, at that kind of thing. But you know, that's the thing with a little bit of you know, experience. When the oldies come into play, they try to play more strategic, because they know that's how good, you know, strategy works. But you know, sometimes it's just about having to wing it. I think M42 can do it. They do have players that, you know, we've seen for a while in terms of other FPS genres, but you know, games. But yeah, in Valorant, this is gonna be their first major step, I believe. And yeah, let's see how these bunch of 5 people can make a difference.
It's going to be an interesting one for sure, because M42, the stage has been set for them. And going up against Truerippers, in my eyes, I do believe that this is the best possible opportunity they could ever have in group number 2, group number B, because in group B, you know for a fact that all these matches are going to be pretty much, our hands are up in the air. We have no idea as analysts who's going to be the one to head on down over to the top 4. Who are going to be the ones in playoffs, because every single one of these teams are absolutely incredible at what they do. And in that sense, M42, they have their work cut out for them. But if they're able to prove themselves here and set the bar for themselves on the group stages, then playoffs for them should be a piece of cake. Because in a way, if you're able to get out of this group alive and head on down over into playoffs, you know for a fact that you are a superstar of a team, and you're going to have that confidence and hopefully carry forward that confidence on towards the playoff stages. But for now, we're going to be talking more about these teams in particular as we head on down over to the map video screen and see exactly what they have picked up for us, because in a way, the maps are what matters here for M42 side. Truerippers, they are a team that are not as map reliant as you would have expected, but M42, they need to have that map advantage to give them that little bit of an edge. And the first map being Icebox, a map where strategic prowess and tactical thinking will favor M42 just a tiny little bit more. I do believe that Truerippers, they could be walking into a death trap, or they could be rolling everything over here, folks.
You know, just 2 days ago, I was having a random discussion on Facebook with Paradox, and somebody suggested that Fracture is now available in the tournament map pool. And he was like, yeah, sure, we'll pick it. And I laughed it off. I thought he was joking. Oh my God. He wasn't kidding. The Matlad actually picked it up. The most confusing, the most unique map ever created by any FPS game. Fracture is here, and Truerippers, I think these guys are going to pick up a bunch of duelists, 3 or 4 duelists minimum, 1 maybe initiator. I don't think they'll even pick up controllers this game in Fracture. So that's how they're going to roll with Fracture, in my opinion. They're just going to be rushing around and constantly flanking, counter-flanking, and just making circles around the map. M42, on the other hand, need to get off strong on Icebox, because if they don't, I think they're going to get absolutely shredded on Fracture.
Yeah, Fracture is a map where your aim game needs to be consistently on point. You need to have a solid plan where on the defensive side, because if you don't have a solid plan on the defense, you're going to have a really rough time throughout the entire phase. If your opponent team is really confident with their aim, they're just going to swing corners out of absolutely nowhere. Timings are not going to be even existent here, because the thing is, in my eyes, I feel as though Fracture is one of the most unique maps, just as you say that for a game such as Valorant. Valorant needed an identity, I would say, when it comes down to the maps. And Fracture could just be that missing identity that they needed to, you know, shoehorn the fact that, hey, we're Valorant, we're different. And this map which is what really embodies the ability usage factors in that game. You need to use your abilities properly. You need to swing corners consistently, and having those 2 different sidelines and 2 different entry points are what you need to get control of the map. So in that sense, Universe, I want your thoughts. Do you think that map number 3 is a possibility? Because in my eyes, this should just be a 2-0 for Truerippers if they're able to take Icebox.
I mean, I'm not quite sure if this is going to be a 2-0. It depends really on that second map, because I think as good as that map is, you know, strategically, in the way that you can literally cut through the map from any given angle, it's all about who's adapting to it first. And if Truerippers have picked it, I'm pretty sure they have a game plan, or they're just like, you know what, guys, let's just go with it. Whatever the wind blows in the direction, we're just going to go with it. I'm pretty sure, like Crip said, like, you know, he was having a conversation with Paradox. and he said we'll pick it. I'm 100% sure this is Paradox's doing. He would have
Yes.
picked that map of Fracture. He definitely said, guys, you know what, guys? Let's just go for it. Let's show everybody that we're the first team, you know, who can get a win on Fracture in the TC Gauntlet. And it's a new map. It's for us now to show that we can make our mark in this tournament. And what better way to start it off than to put up the new map that's come into the game and show that we are the ones who are going to be forming the meta around this. Let's see if they've got what they have in their hands, because M42, as obliged, have picked up attack, which I would have expected any team to do who was against them, especially on Fracture, because that is, looking at the map itself, you can say it's a very, very attack-sided map, at least in my opinion, because of the number of, outlets you have as an attacker to exploit this, map is just crazy. 4 different avenues, 4 different places where you can just infiltrate. The defenders have so many different angles to look at, because when you have one person looking towards, that the stairs kind of side, on the behind, you're going to have somebody coming from arcade, and they're going to shoot you right in the back because it's a straight opening through. And you can see it right through there. It's like one straight line. And that causes a lot of, opportunities for the attackers to just bamboozle the defense and just get free kills at given any time. So let's see how Fracture's going to end up.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Fracture is a map where, remember when I always say that 30-second executions are really bad and you should never really go for 30-second executions, possibly go for 50, test the waters a little bit, and maybe you'll have a chance for rotation. But on Fracture, I personally do believe that 30-second executions are beautiful. Having 2 different entry points for yourself, you can just rush down the side in the last 30 seconds, dump all of your till the end, and possibly just get trades on the defenders. And what are the defenders going to do? They need to worry about 2 different entry points. And in that sense, Fracture, this could just be the best map of Truerippers, because Truerippers, they just like to bum rush down the entry points every single time, and they're going to be able to get in the kills. They're going to be able to do what they do best. So in my eyes, Fracture is going to be an interesting one for sure, and I'm really thankful that Paradox, even if it's for the memes, picked up the map of Fracture in particular. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, I know for a fact that you're all ready for the matchup. I'm going to be sending these 2 down over towards the caster's desk, and we're going to be back with it real shortly with the LG Ultragear TC Gauntlet Season 3, powered by Ballistix and Crucial, and our apparel partners are none other than 656, after a short word from our sponsors.
From the legends of memory and storage, Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products, precision engineered for speed and stability. Crucial Ballistix.
Hey guys, welcome back to LG Ultragear presents TEC Gauntlet Season 3, powered by Ballistix and Crucial. My name is Scripps, and with me is Universe. We're going to be taking you through today's games. It's Truerippers versus M42. Truerippers has been present in the Gauntlet since last season. M42, on the other hand, they've been present in the community since a very long time, but this is their first iteration of Gauntlet. Now, I don't know how they're going to match up. They have played one game against XO Esports, but comparing them to XO might be a little unfair considering that they were the finalists last time. So comparing them to the top tier seeds Maybe it will be a little difficult for M42 to go up against them. But then Truerippers are the kind of opponent which I think M42 can take on. They're fighting within the same weight class. What do you think is going to happen, Universe?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. I think Icebox can be made. You can make a case on Icebox for, I would say, Truerippers, and even both M42, I guess. But it's a little up and down, situation, because I would like to believe that the side of Truerippers have got the experience of playing in the Gauntlet, but they don't really, have the experience against M42. It's a brand new team, not much to study on them at all. And they don't really know what they can expect. And we know the way that Truerippers play. They've got this aggressive style. They send Paradox up in front. He does the dirty work for the team. And the rest of the team supports him. Even when, you've got somebody picking up that raise, be it anybody for that matter, in particular maps. Not going to be Icebox for sure. But wherever they do, Truerippers have a sort of a game plan. It's aggression-minded on the attack, which is a pretty good strategy, I think, has worked out for them. But against a team like M42, where I think strategy works a little bit more for them, I think they will expect this controlled aggression from the side of Truerippers. So I'm still not really sure, because M42 might have seen Truerippers play, but facing them all together is a whole different thing, because Paradox is a uncountable variable. You can never know what that guy's up to. He can have a game where he goes up to 35 to 40 kills in a match, but at the same time, he can have games where even if he does not get kills, he's still getting impact frags. And the rest of his team, people of Relic, Crosshair, all of them are such good players mechanically. They know how to play this game, individually as well as a team. They support each other really well. And it's just a great overall team. And M42, they're a team that have proved themselves in the longer run. So I'm not sure, but I would like to say that this might be, tending a little bit towards Truerippers, like a 51-49, just because of the experience that they have.
I think that I can tilt those odds a little more heavily in the favor of Truerippers. I think this is a 75-25 kind of game, with Truerippers having the higher chance of winning this one. M42, I feel like what they will need to do is hold on to their defense sides no matter what they're playing. Let's say they start on defense in Icebox. Obviously, they need to make sure that they don't get completely run over by Truerippers. But then again, on the attacking side in Fracture, they still need to play defensively. And I'll tell you why. Because, you see, the defenders on Fracture, they have way too many areas to hold on to. And keeping control of the side becomes a little difficult. So I think what the game plan of Team Truerippers will be on Fracture defense side is pushing out and deliberately picking up these battles and actively hunting for map control. So even though Truerippers will be starting on the defensive side, it will kind of feel like they're the ones playing attack. And then M42, they need to just hold on, punish the mistakes of Team Truerippers, hope that they play over aggressively and they somehow pick off their momentum. And once M42 have secured the man advantage, after they shut down the initial assault from Truerippers, that's when they can go and make their own moves.
Yeah, I think you are right over there. It has to be a little bit of a, I think Battle of the Strategies is going to come into play, I think, more on Icebox than will on Fracture. I think Fracture is just going to be, a feel of the game sort of a thing, because I don't know if these guys have had enough time to practice it. I don't know if Paradox and Co have had a reason to go ahead and pick that in particular. I know he told you that they're going to pick it. They did. And now that it's here, I really hope that they have something in mind, because they are playing on defense first on the second map. But that's still a complete, one map away. We've got Icebox. And honestly, I love this, map pool. I've always loved these kind of maps come up. I love it when Icebox and Breeze come into play. I love it now that I'm seeing Fracture as well. I know that, Ascent is home ground. Everybody loves it. Split is great. But
I hate Ascent at this point. Like, it's such a boring and overdone map. Like, bring in Breeze every time, bring in Fracture every time. I will actually appreciate this.
I guess it's just going to take a little bit of time, because Breeze, even though it was introduced a little while ago, it's been quite a while, and we've seen a lot of teams play it. We've seen, Global Esports make it their home. We've seen Velocity make it their home. Those two teams pretty much make every map their home at this point. But every other team also have been having their go at Breeze. I know it was, to be honest, if you look at it right now, it looked like it took months for teams to settle into Icebox itself, right? It took a lot of time to just get settled to Icebox, get the feel of how this big box of ice is just going to allow them to play with different angles, different sites. It's so huge, it's so spacious, and we are playing it right now as well. It's all about getting map control over here just because you've got so many avenues. You know, you go down mid, you've got that tube position where you got to take care of. And the fact about this map is you can't really have somebody looking over every single angle because there's that many. Somebody needs to leave that, you know, if there's a Killjoy, that's a really good asset because you have a turret looking over mid. You have that alarm bot that can be left on top of the, you know, tube if you're a defender to try and hold off any pushes. You have information. You can play off those tunnels position on top of B, and you can, you know, take control of two different sites while you have an operator functioning either on the A belt side, you know, on the A generator side, or on the B long side, you know. There's a lot of things you can do on Icebox when you're on defense, but it's always about not letting your enemies get through into corners where they can cause so much damage. Because, Crips, I'm pretty sure you know that, you know, we've seen this multiple times. How many times have people, you know, in particular, I would like to say, you know, from Velocity or Global itself, that they just cut through teams' defenses, whether, you know, it's going through mid or something. They always end up in the opponent's spawn. And from there, it's just, you know, smooth sailing because they attack one side, rotations are cut off, game over.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching a hot knife melt through butter. That's how some of these teams behave like when they try to play Icebox and when they attack mid. It's almost like they isolate and exterminate and they force the errors out of their opponents. That can be the vibe when teams like Global Esports and Velocity are playing this game, but then Truerippers are a little bit different. Sure, they are very aggressive, but they're not like a hot knife melting through butter. They're more like a sledgehammer that smashes the entire dinner table. That's kind of the vibe of Team Truerippers.
You know what is intriguing me is that I really want to see what, you know, formation M42 are going to come in with. What, you know, agents are they going to be picking? Are they going to have something different? Are they going to have, you know, somebody being thrown completely off, you know, introduce a I don't know, a breach into Icebox, or introduce a KO into Icebox, you know, agents that not really picked as much on this particular map, or, you know, who knows, maybe get a Yoru. We've seen Venom, he plays, you know, he plays the Reyna, not the Yoru, he plays the Reyna.
Fracture Yoru? I think
maybe, you know, the thing about Yoru on this map is that, you know, I know that you can have on Yoru on other maps where you teleport from one side to the other, but Fracture is so dynamic, you know. It's not even a diamond, it's like a cube, right? You've got 4 points where you start things from, 2 sites and 2 spawns, and you can just throw in that teleporter anywhere. To be honest, I've not tried out the lineups of Yoru, but then I think that teleporter can go a long distance. And if it gets in through any one of those sites, it's a huge point of trouble because pressure coming in from one side, Yoru coming in from the other is just a lot of trouble. But hey, we're going to go into Icebox first, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to talk about here first, so we're going to jump in straight into the agent selection screen as we are going to watch the debut of M42 in the Tec Gauntlet. As we've got Rix already picking up the Viper. No particular surprises from the side of the oldies. We've got Sam trying to go in for that Sova. Venom actually going in for the Killjoy pick here. He's not going for the duelist, usually what we see him play. On the other side of things, the menacing Jet himself, Paradox, is going to lock his usual. We've got one tap god looking to go for the secondary duelist. Bones is here, and he's going to be playing instead of Relic. And he's got the Viper in his hands. Crosshair should be going for that initiator pick, and this could be a bit of a difference maker. There is a Sage available, but the thing about this is there might not be a Sentinel. Unless Crosshair goes for it. Unless Crosshair... Oh, okay, no Sentinel. All right.
I mean, the Sage is a Sentinel, but only on paper, right? We all know that Truerippers kind of play it like a Battle Sage, so this is a pseudo-duelist of sorts who can lock out certain areas when required, but there's no dedicated Sentinel in the form of a Killjoy or something like that.
Yeah, Killjoy has the dynamics of letting one... It's almost like a 6v5, you know, because that turret literally acts as as a man holding down the back lines for your team. That's exactly what you need. when you're playing such a big map, you never know who's going to be popping up from the backlines whenever it is from the opponent, right? And Killjoy helps with that, and I really hope Truerippers have a plan to try and, you know, let their backs not be stabbed, because when they're on the attack, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a little bit of push coming in from M42. We've not seen their playstyle yet, you know, in depth. We are going to see it now. But hey, I honestly believe that one BO3 doesn't really give out anybody's, you know, game style as such, but it's a start of something.
It is a start at something, and I hope that M42 can
Paradox.
have a start. What happened to Paradox?
Look at Paradox. Look at Paradox.
All right,
He's dressed up for this.
Dressed up? Oh, you mean his camera?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Look at him. He's wearing glasses. He's got a bandana on his head. He's wearing a scarf. Paradox is in the moment. Okay, Paradox is in this for everything. The showcasing and all.
But M42, on the other hand, their jerseys look really sober and very simple. I mean, why wouldn't they do this? They are a pretty, you know, conservative team as such, so they can just stick with the basics and just focus on the game. Speaking of the game, let's jump in, ladies and gentlemen. We have Truerippers versus M42 going live right now. And right off the bat, you can see that Paradox is already keen on pushing up and trying to pick up the advantage right here and now. Now, whether or not this will actually end up working in his favor is something that we'll find out later, because that's not where the execution's headed. M42 walking straight up towards Tube. They let them bust. One tap God, he deliberately lets them go ahead and relays information to his team. Meanwhile, they both crunch them in the center, and Kitchen turns into a graveyard of sorts. Rix realizes that his backup is gone, so he falls back under Tube, hoping to regroup with his teammates, but there's only death waiting for him on the other side. And of course, One Tap God will not miss those up close and personal. While their teammates are falling like flies towards mid, Venom goes for an extremely safe plant which cannot be defended from far away. At least he's able to keep himself alive for a little bit longer, but he's barely got any HP left, and Crosshair puts him out of the misery. A very clean round by Truerippers as they lay down traps for M42, welcoming them into their open arms and then just shutting them down when they enter the trap. It's kind of like a Venus flytrap, you know, you invite the flies inside, and then when they realize what they're walking into, it's too late. The jaws are shut, and you're already drowning in that digestive juice. You have Paradox holding up the victory sign. He doesn't just have the bandana and the glasses, he's got the gloves as well.
I love this guy.
I mean, I always keep on saying that Paradox has blood on his hands, but this time he wants to make sure that his hands are clean and his frags are crisp.
Well, let's hope for it for the rest of the match. For now, it was Crosshair to get his hands deep into blood. He got 3 kills straight off the bat. And we are going to have a full buy coming in from the side of Truerippers. Not exactly a full buy. We've got Spectres across the place. But hey, whatever you want to call it. For now, it's a B hit coming. No, A hit and B push coming in from Truerippers. And Paradox going in further. Gets a no-scope. Supported by Crosshair. Is going to get one more. As Riggs finds one trade, but that's all it's going to be. He's dragged down to less than 20 HP. And as his teammate Sam is gone as well, it's just going to be for him to eat a bullet in the back as he's been baited out by One Tap God. Paradox cleans it up. And the boys in black and white are having a lot of fun already.
Well, the boys in black, white, and orange, if you consider the color of Paradox's bandana.
Yeah,
One Tap God has a little bit of purple on his backs, but very soon these guys are going to be shining in green if they continue this pace. One Tap God just toying around with his opponents. That's just disrespect at its best.
I love it. I love that, you know, they're just in this to have fun at this point. I love it. It just gives me so much joy. Emo actually gets a beautiful kill. One Tap got completely destroyed. And Bones could be as well, down 11 HP, but he managed to find 1 kill before he's taken out. He still escapes. No, he won't. Emo comes in through, finds a second. And Paradox with the Marshal on an elevated position. Could be good for at least 1 kill if he aims right to the head. But he's going to be spotted out, I believe. Because this position is usually checked. And no, he's going to change his weapon up. He knows he's better with what he's got in his hands right now. As Master is holding off to try and listen for any kind of rotations. He is going to get one. Venom goes down. No more backstabs to worry about.
Yeah, but this confirms that they're heading towards the B site. Walls go up once again. No defenders present over here to stop the spike plant, but the Hunter's Fury, it will be committed, won't be able to stop the plant though. At least they find one. Can they convert it into a kill? Nope, that doesn't happen. The player who does get tagged will eventually be healed up if the Sage has the heal available in a little bit of time. 3 versus 3 retake. Let's go. We have one player coming in from Snowman, 2 more coming in from the Oranges. And they first need to clear out this wall area. They need to find an opening over here, covering up the yellow containers with the Cloudburst, and Paradox delivers yet again. He strikes around as the other side does show up. Rix with a huge responsibility on his shoulders, trying to focus on the diffuser first, but Master's already got him.
Diffuse is going to come in. There is more than enough time to get this diffuse coming in. Froster is going to confirm it. It's going to be a 3-0 start for Truerippers. They've had a pretty good dominance right up front, and M42 have not really been showing up to their potential. But hey, it's still the beginning. There's a whole other map to go as well. So we're going to have to wait and watch what really M42 can put on the plate. But so far, they have been reduced to an eco twice. And it is the 4th round, so they're looking to go towards mid this time, Crips. And they've got Paradox waiting here for them. They have bought a Marshall and a Spectre, which is now unbought. Okay, they're just going for it. All right, Venom is the only one who has a buy. This could be a little bit of a dirty gunfight towards mid. Paradox is going to be the winner of the first one. Venom goes down immediately through the smoke, unfortunately. The Spectre is going to be dropped to somebody else. Hyper struggling to find any sort of control to get the kill on to Paradox, but he's just going to give away his life after one bullet being connected. One tap god comes through, finds another, and Rix is left all alone yet again to be found by Bones any second now. Oh no! Oh, that was unfortunate. Almost looked away, but he made sure that at least one kill comes in. One weapon drop, but that's not going to hurt Truerippers, is it at all?
I have a prediction to make. Let's see if I'm correct or not. Truerippers will keep on pushing again and again and again until they lose 2 rounds in a row. Even if they lose a single round, they will continue pushing up ahead and ahead. All the time. They are not going to stop. Let's see whether or not this comes true. Truerippers, I feel like these guys have got the read on what M42 is doing, and every time M42 tries to go for a plan B of sorts, every time they try to fall back from an area and try to go from somewhere else, they are caught off guard all the time because Truerippers are up in their faces, sometimes all the way down towards their spawn, to make sure that M42 do not have an opportunity to fall back. And that's exactly what they want. Oh, the recon dart. It's perfect. It seems like everyone from M42 had absolutely no idea where it landed, and 2 people were looking for it. They couldn't break it in time. One gets pinged and gets taken down through that poison cloud on mid. Absolutely bamboozled, as M42 had no idea what hit them.
They did not have an idea, but for now, they've tried to get a little bit of control towards B, and that is working out for them. 42, 3v3 they've put themselves in, and they've got the Viper Spit online, but look at Crosshair! What? Crazy guy! Jumps right in, and gets at least 1 kill before he goes down. There's a backstab coming in.
Yeah, but at least he's killed the Killjoy, so they will never find out if the backstab is even arriving or not.
Yeah.
And they're still very paranoid that somebody will jump through the Viper Spit once more and try to take them down as soon as the spike is being planted. If one tap god gets towards yellow, this will be a great spot because then both the players will be forced to play from inside the pit. He doesn't mind giving away his position. Both the players of Truerippers don't care if their positions are known. They just want to connect a few random shots through the smoke and deal damage. They know that M42 are not very healthy. Truerippers have the HP advantage. They just need to make sure that they find the right tag. Even if they connect one bullet, the sound will give away the remaining positions. But the moment they enter the pit, M42 finally strike, and that's their first round on the board. Let's be honest, the only reason Truerippers lost this is because the individual gunfights that they picked up, the Viper versus Viper, the Jet versus Jet, they lost those 2 fights, and that's how the Beast site was taken over by M42. I think Truerippers got a little too overconfident, and not trading and trying to go for these individual battles is what cost them the round. But does that mean they're going to stop doing it? Absolutely not.
Nope. By the look of Paradox's face, they're definitely not going to stop.
In fact, they will be even more encouraged now to single YOLO push and pick up these fights.
I know, right? Yeah, that's exactly what they're looking for. Paradox. Yeah, what?
Told you. Told you.
No, did he shoot him through the drone? He shot him through the drone. Hey, I think he went to shoot the drone, and he got a kill as well.
These Hypers back upstairs. No way. Even Master's up in kitchen, and he's taking everyone down. No way that they can survive this one. High jump from Hyper as he takes down Bones, but the Opera is still alive, which means Trouble still now looking down the barrel of M42. Spike headed towards B once more. And take a look at how the team of Truerippers has forced M42 to stay back. The Sage is all the way in attacking spawn. She hasn't moved at all. It's just a Spike heading all by itself. Hyper and his blades up against Paradox and a sniper, who also has blades as backup, but I don't think he's going to pop them this round. Deliberate footsteps given away by Truerippers Sage as they look to make sure their positions. Emo, though, will get one player off guard, but he will be out-dueled by the Sage. Like, all these angles that Truerippers are holding, it's just incredible. This is like the third time that somebody from under tube has been able to get a free kill on M42.
Yeah.
And this is one position that they're always struggling in. M42 can almost never pluck the hole that's under tube. Truerippers always get a free frag over there. And when I say free, it's absolutely free. Like, they're not even looking in that direction.
I have no idea how these guys are just tearing through. Paradox is an absolute beast at the moment. He's turned up the heat so much. And now look at one tap god. Oh, easy pickings for him, unless he goes away to hell. Somehow he gets one kill, down to 47 HP, survives, gets back. As in a 5v4 with nothing but pistols. M42 just have to try and find some economical damage, but I don't even think it's going to damage them a lot. Because Truerippers are not going to let it happen. One by one, the bodies keep falling. One by one, Truerippers put up rounds on the board. It's going to be number 6 on the back of it, and it is Truerippers with a beautiful first half dominance.
9-3? Coming soon? I don't know. Could be the
Yeah,
case.
maybe. You never know.
And I could have said 10-2, I could have said 8-4, but I say 9-3 because it's the cursed scoreline. I kind of want to see some comebacks.
Comeback could be on the cards, Crips. We just have to wait and see whether M42 are up to it, because on the attacking side of Icebox, usually you can see a bit of retaliation. But so far, it hasn't come in. Just the one round. Truerippers, they've had a control on things. They've been on top of it. And having 6 rounds against M42 in the very first few stages of this game is a statement. Paradox, 12-3. That guy's up. Followed by one tap god, 9-2. And both the duelists for the side of Truerippers are putting in the hard work. With this timeout now, M42 are trying to balance out their strategies. They really are not able to handle the heat that the side of Truerippers are putting onto them. It's like they're covered in a wildfire. It's just burning all around them. And M42 have no sort of, strategies to counter it. It's just aggression, pure aggression. And to be honest, I should have expected M42 to, expect this kind of aggression, and I thought they would have a counter, but so far, nothing, Crips. It's just, whatever Truerippers are doing, they're getting away with it.
Yeah, listen, you can only counter a definite set strategy. Do you think Truerippers have a set strategy? No,
Maybe not. Okay.
Now this time, Bricks finally shuts down the aggressive pushes. Maybe they can punish the other one too. Only one frag available from Bones this time around, as M42 are prepared for the hits. And they just hold the angles. Now Truerippers, they finally start to understand why aggressing probably might not work every time, but I don't think they're still going to give it up. They might just try it one more time with a little bit of twists and turns. And if they lose that one, only then will Truerippers stop going ahead. But look at the timing on this one. Paradox absolutely disrespectfully kills Rix. And he had no idea that he was coming from that side. 2 versus 3, still a doable retake of sorts. Crosshair can make sure that he can find out all the angles of the players hiding behind. The spike, I think it's not been planted in the open, is it? Can't really be sure by the minimap, but we will find out. Either way, they will have to deal with the KJ nanoswarms if they want to go for the defuse right now. Paradox, blades activated, time to pop them off. He knows there's going to be a crossfire, one towards the left, one towards the right, but he doesn't care. He only peeks one direction, and he gets shut down by that crossfire. Nothing happening for Crosshair as well, as M42 finally are able to string rounds together.
Oh, finally, there is a response coming in from M42. That timeout seemed to work out for them, and now they have an idea. At least in that round they did what they could do to try and counter Truerippers, and they did it pretty well. Go towards the direction where Paradox is not there, and you might just find some success. They're trying to find ways to not face that operator. And that's a good thing for them, because Paradox has been absolutely crazy on it so far. This time Paradox going up towards mid. Yeah, he's gonna take it out. No more turret business for Venom for at least 40-30 seconds, as M42 are making waves towards the A site. Information being rallied across both sides by these drones, and here comes the Hunter's Fury. As a result, entry into the A site might just be given, but it is just tags of damage on both sides.
Yeah, and he also tagged the Reyna, the one person who can heal herself. So that really doesn't make any sense. Now counter Hunter Fury, know exactly where the lockdown's planted, and while they're busy dodging the Hunter's Fury, Paradox takes Venom down. More to follow as Paradox continues to pop off. A triple kill for this man, and now the Suwa puts down the bow, picks up the gun, and picks up the pieces too. Riggs has nothing to make work of this. Spike deep inside enemy territory. Crossfire being held by Paradox and Crosshair once more. Maybe Riggs can catch him off guard, but he's gonna have to deal with Crosshair first. And if he does manage to get caught, at least the other person will be activated. Can't even get started. And the aggressive peaks from Truerippers continue to pay off dividends. I told you, I made this prediction. Truerippers are not gonna stop pressing W.
Yeah, they're not. You're right. They definitely are gonna stick. I mean, why would they? Because it's working out for them so often. And clearly, there is one thing that you can notice, Crips, that this aggression, although sometimes it's being handled by M42, which was in 2 rounds, but that same aggression is something that obviously the Truerippers are not going to give up, right? And M42, as much as strategy they can put into, you know, trying to counter it, is just not working out for them in any way. And here comes a very deep Viper spit from the defense. Paradox is on top of it. Working out another
care.
Bro,
This guy. Absolute menace. He goes into the pit, challenges M42, and then Bones holding these cross angles. He should be able to kill Sam in a single bullet. A random spray is going to result in his death. Black Orb captured, but Bones doesn't reveal his position. In fact, he's pushing deeper and deeper via his own pit. They don't expect a counter push, and if Bones can head them right now, he's going to catch so many people looking the wrong direction.
He just can't get a 3-man spray down, but he's just going to hold his ground. That would be a better option, but the rest of M42 are already towards the A site. Master, the only one right now here. Crosshair's made his way here. They're still a little hesitant about getting into this. They probably want to play for a retake. And here comes Hyper, dashes in. M42 taking control, but Crosshair getting it right back. Viper spit from the opponent goes down for the plant. But they're being pressured a lot. And where's Sam looking? Completely up got Paradox! Paradox, get out of here! No, that is not allowed. No, that is not supposed to be. Somebody stop this guy. Somebody get him out of here. I'm done with this guy. No.
Yeah, whether it's pushing through his own teammates.
Yeah, stop it. No.
And of course, the
now
peace
get
signs.
out. No.
No, see, he held up 2 victory signs, basically indicating the 4K. Either way, he pushes through his own teammates' Viper Spit, then he used the enemy's Viper Spit against him. I have no idea why Sam was up there on pipes trying to look towards the screens region while he can clearly hear the people just rambling up and down on rafters. That was a massive mistake. Sound cues completely ignored. He was probably hoping that his teammates will be able to cover him, but they can't see the rafters when the Viper Spit is active. Big miscommunication from the side of M42, and they commit their ultimates for nothing. And if you take a look at the ultimates, Truerippers have 3 of them, M42 have nothing. And they don't just have no ultimates, they have no weapons too, but still somehow Venom makes it work. The frenzy paying off dividends as Venom is enraged right now. He's angry and he wants to exact revenge. 2 weapons captured by M42, barrier up, pull up so they can go for the plant safely, but the spike is still in base. They need to go ahead and retrieve it. And that's one Tec Gauntlet's opportunity to liberate the A site once more. All these mistakes coming out from M42, and they get absolutely destroyed. Hypers does manage to bring it back to some extent, but Trueripper, they now have the whole of the team M42 bisected in half. Take a look at this. The Jet has absolutely no idea where Bones is. He's making his way through T-spawn. And the other guys, they're still heading down the B side, so if he does come by from the back area, he's only gonna have to face this one Sheriff wielder in the form of Fix, but he's got his knife out.
Unfortunate.
He could have had an opportunity to shut down M42 right here because there were way too many mistakes coming into that A take. But somehow, I think Truerippers got a little too overconfident about their peaks. Probably
Maybe.
what resulted in their death.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I don't really know. I mean, there was a lot of pistols. I think, you know, sort of panic set in that he has to face too many people off at one time. Master got taken off pretty early and then was followed up by another kill. Crosser went down. And one by one, it was just players falling apart. Yeah, whatever happens, happened. And now we're up to 8-3. Could be a 9-3 potentially, like you projected, Cribs. We could be on the cards, a comeback maybe on the back of a curse, but if M42 want to make a comeback, it's better to have an 8-4 scoreline than a 9-3, I believe. It's closer, more easier to achieve in terms of a comeback. Right now, they're looking for the 4th round towards the B side. You've got players spread across the entire map. They've measured up towards A. You've got Venom trying to feel the water, how warm it is, and he's going to throw down a fake, I believe, as he's got players holding down towards B. And Bones could be baited into trying to move in further and maybe find information. Hyper is though, and he's gonna get taken out. He looks in the wrong direction, checking his upper angle. He's called out M42. And even though the revive comes in, it's gonna be Bones to try and find something. He's not gonna get it though. Paradox will finds one. A second! What the hell was that shot? What?
The ball on this man to go for the repeat, even though his position has been revealed. But M42 tries to push the front line even further. He does get into the enemy territory and takes down 2 players. But now take a look at the HP of all these guys. M42 barely surviving on a sliver of HP, 11 health for one, barely anything else for the other, as they now try to fall back towards the A side. Venom can probably make this one work if he can find the person who just got revived. I don't think they're aware about his position, and now Paradox finds out the hard way. But Venom himself is very low, which brings it back to a 1v2. No time available to plant, and this round is already lost.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Riggs, maybe 1 second, maybe planting a little bit behind could have helped him. Just about those small little, you know, measures that you need to take. Small little risks that you have to take in order to try and find some sort of an avenue. Maybe he could have won out that round if the plan went down. Who knows? But time was far too gone. And now with a 9-3 half against him, M42, they gotta believe in the curse here, Crips. And if they do, which will only begin if they win the pistol round, by the way. And last time the pistol run wasn't really that, you know, they weren't really so fond of it. This time they need to find a way to make it work on defense.
I think they can make it work. M42 have what it takes to go ahead and mount up a decent enough defense. The rotations on the attacking side were pretty good, but now they've taken a page out of Truerippers' book. You have the Jet already deep into the zipline tower. If anything goes wrong, she can always dash away. And ducking down too, which means they won't spot him.
They have an idea. Oh, Paradox.
They know. They know. Paradox has all the information in the world. He checks every angle because he's an aggressive player himself. He knows where people can go. More to follow as Truerippers just don't want to press the S button. They continue to push even though they have the sight. Finally, Paradox will be dealt with by Sam, but Master brings it right back. And Truerippers, they push them in their faces. They take fights which they don't even need to. And now the Reyna is left outside. Of course, there's absolutely no reason for One Tap God to pick up the fight against Riggs. They can always just hold angles, but will they? Do you think Truerippers are patient enough to do anything like that? Yeah. Absolutely not. They want to humiliate their opponents.
This is exactly what happened in the previous pistol, by the way. Paradox was the only one who perished, and Riggs was the last one alive. Yet again, it happens, and another pistol for Truerippers. 10-3, and it's going to be 11-3 given the state of things that we can see right now. And Truerippers are having an amazing game so far, which, by the way, is the map pick of M42, mind you. We are going to Fracture next, and that might just be a different ball game. We don't even know if Truerippers is ready for it. But given their momentum right now, I don't think anything's going to stop their aggression.
Toxins going up.
Not really confident about that toxin screen. It's kind of like challenging the other people to walk through, but I think Truerippers will take that bait. They're gonna walk right through it, and they catch Master. I'm sorry, they catch Sam falling back. Nothing else for Emo as well, as M42 just keep on falling like flies.
One enemy
Master
remaining.
even pushing ahead of his own barrier drop. Hyper just desperately trying to fight for his life. The classic burst net him only 1 kill, and you can almost see that one tap god wanted to go ahead and knife him, but he just held off on the edge to stab that knife into his enemy's guts. Choose to do it with the ghost instead.
You know what I really love? You know, Paradox knows we're looking at him, and he's got this cheeky smile that keeps coming on his face every 5 seconds. When we know he's done something, you know, questionable. Jumping around, pulling out every weapon he's got, trying to go for the knife as well. He's just a cheeky little bugger. No, he does not care. He just wants to have fun. Putting on a bandana, throwing in, you know, these crazy kills, making no scopes happen. Just what an entertainer, not just a good player, what an entertainer as well.
What is that? What is that poison cloud? What was Rick's trying? He tries to recover the orb and he ends up falling to Paradox. And how is Paradox still alive? How did Evo not kill him? And now he's getting triple peaked. He's flashed, he's pinged, he can get pre-fired. Only Sam can save him. When he pulls out the shotgun at the wrong time, still gets a kill on Paradox. What is going on in this round?
What's happening?
They're making 1,000 mistakes, but somehow they don't get punished as hard as I thought they would.
Spike planted.
They still have at least 1 player alive, and they got 2 kills, whereas they should have had absolutely nothing. But Truerippers don't care. They don't care if Paradox is dead. They don't care if his teammate Sage follows him in the grave. They follow him anywhere, as long as it's going towards victory.
This is not Truerippers, guys. This is W Key Rippers. I really think they should just change their name.
Yeah.
Again, see, another W key. He had no reason for one tap god to go for that, but he wants to kill.
I think the only thing they ripped out, is the S button. They just ripped it out of the keyboard.
Yeah, they're like, we don't need it. Unbind it, rip it out, whatever you want. We don't even need it. And Bones, just for insurance policy, throws down his snake bite. And now they're going for team kills. Okay, now they're going for team kills. Alright, okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have way too much money. We can always buy these abilities in the next round.
No, they're
Match
like,
point.
we don't want to kill the opponents anymore. We just want to kill each other.
And
I just
cannot be quenched by just 5 opponents. They need more frags.
Yeah, I mean, for that, you might just want to bring in a... yeah, have you ever thought, you know, it would be really cool if we had an agent, right? To be, if Riot's watching this and if you're listening, just what if you had an agent whose ultimate was to get a duplicate? A duplicate of you.
Kind of like
know?
Virgil from Devil May Cry?
Maybe. Like, you know, if somebody's dead on your team, it's not like a Sage revive, but it's like a duplicate that he can activate any time. But for now, Paradox is just gonna kill every single person he sees, whether it's a duplicate or not. Okay, this guy is on a complete roll. That's okay. That's just the end of it. All right then, Truerippers.
Get out of my way.
Absolutely demolished. Paradox gets taken down midair, but Hyper's left all alone in a
Spike
1v3,
planted.
which he can possibly hope to win only in his wildest dreams.
Yeah. What's this?
Makes it work for one though, and he needs to go in for this. There's no saving, my friend. You need to go in for this, and you need to go in for this right now. He's trying to get the kills. He knows where these players are, at least one of them at least, and he's nowhere close to the site where he wants to be. It's just unfortunate and complete dismantlement, and
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do about it.
20 seconds into the round and Truerippers are already in the defender's spawn, getting 4
Attackers
kills.
win.
The last one is just a little bit of teasing their opponents, letting them know what they can see and what they can expect in Fracture. And of course, if you look at Paradox and his karate chop moves, you will know what to expect. The sunglasses come off and then he looks
He's not able to
into
put
your
them
eyes. Yeah, he doesn't need sunglasses. Cool people don't look at explosions, they look away from them.
I mean, if you really want to, you know, be like, you know, you want to have one of those Iron Man moments when, you know, his missile blows behind him in, you know, that iconic scene, the Jericho missile blows and he just puts his hand up like this. That's like Paradox that's what he's feeling right now. Unfortunately, he's just not got as much swagger as Tony Stark, but he does have the swagger of being the top fragger. He's got the swagger of being the top fragger. I mean, I want to give it to him. I want to give it to him, okay? But let's just go have a look at the match highlights. And thankfully, in this, I don't have to see his face. Because every time I look at it, all I can see is, you know, he's just sneaky, like so... Dude, I love watching him play. I love that he's such an entertainer. But, like, you know, for the other team, it's so, like, you know, it's almost demotivating at times because...
That's the objective. That's the plan. Come on, what do you mean he doesn't have enough swagger? He has more than enough swagger than anyone else. The bandana, the glasses, and the biker gloves,
Yeah,
Who
you know
wears
what?
biker gloves while playing a competitive game?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
who am I
even like
kidding?
wearing a wristwatch while I'm playing my Valorant games because I think it gets in the way. But this guy, he's wearing full leather gloves. And consider this, he's in a very sweaty environment, right? It's like 40 degrees
Uh-huh.
outside. He's wearing leather biker gloves while
Mm-hmm.
playing a competitive FPS shooter tournament. Who does that? I don't even like wearing my wristwatches, but he's wearing gloves
I
just for
don't
style
know.
points.
I don't know this. I am so I just every time I look at this guy come up on the screen, even when he's playing, I can only imagine him sitting with that glasses on his face. Dude, who the hell plays a game of Valorant having, you know, sunglasses? I mean,
People with swag.
yeah, it's just okay. I mean, and fine. I mean, I love it. He's probably gonna go into Fracture the same way. I love it. You know who? At this point, I just want to say is Tony Stark. Who? Paradox. That's who. No,
Yeah.
Tony Stark. It's just a swagger Paradox.
Look, we know you're a big Marvel fanboy by that sign on the back, but there's nothing that you have on Paradox over here.
Yeah, I know. I love him. I love the guy. He's an amazing player. He just showcased pretty much the best of his skills today. Every single shot he hit connected. At least 95% of it was on the bodies of his opponents. Look at shots like these. Just, dude, there's no stopping him when he's playing like this. It's like you know, just you. What can you do when an opponent is that good on his best day, right?
Exactly.
There's nothing you can do. You can only hope for him to slip up maybe, but he didn't. And now that we're going to Fracture, after a dominating performance like this, I can only hope for M42 to probably pick up the pace in their own aggression, because I think the only way they can tackle this aggression is by their aggression themselves. And
How
look,
will they
he's
play?
28 kills, dude. What the hell is this guy on?
Yeah, the Paradox on 28, One Tap God on 18, Crosshair Master both on 11, and Bones on 5 kills. But if you then take a look at the side of M42, their highest fragger has 13.
Yeah,
You have
that's
second highest Ricks on 11, and then everyone else in single digits. Everyone on the team of Truerippers stepped up today. And I think the major factor behind their victory is holding their crossfires. Let's say if they play aggressively towards the B side, then they don't play aggressively on A. They just hold passive crossfires. But if they are playing aggressively on A, then you will see a crossfire which is up in the faces of M42. Like you'll have Paradox up on top of A belt already, while Crosshair protects him from pipes. Now that kind of crossfire, which is so deep inside enemy territory, you can't even break it. You can't do anything to dismantle that one. You just probably hope that the flashes are enough to force them back, and then you can just methodically clear the room. But other than that, I don't think there's anything that M42 can do to deal with this relentless aggression from the side of Truerippers. Yeah, maybe in Fracture, M42 can bring an aggression of their own, and because this is a new map, there's no set meta, there's no set strategy, so they can do whatever they want. And as long as they are coordinated, they can probably put it off.
They most certainly can. We've got another map coming up now, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be the newest map in the town. It's gonna be Fracture, and it's Truerippers' pick, by the way. They have something on their sleeve. I'm looking at Paradox. It's gonna be another entertainer. It's gonna be another nuisance of a gameplay coming in from him to try and force M42 to be as uncomfortable as possible. As me and Crips, we're gonna take a short break after seeing what we just saw, and we're gonna take a few Red Bulls and keep them right next to us, because we're going to need it, and you might need it as well. So scan that QR code when it comes up, and we're going to be back with the TC Gauntlet Season 3, powered by Ballistix and Crucial. Don't go anywhere. We're going to see if M42 can make a comeback or not.
from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial Ballistix.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tec Gauntlet, powered by LG Ultragear, Ballistix, and Crucial. Our apparel partner is 656, and we won't be wearing their jerseys today because I've got flowers all over me. Tomorrow, maybe you'll get to see the stylish Valorant Gauntlet jerseys. Now, we are done with the first map. We have Team Truerippers, who basically ripped and teared their way to victory, and they won 13-3. Like, that's a devastating scoreline. And we're used to saying that 9-3 is the cursed scoreline where the opponent starts to make a comeback, but no, divine blessings are all that's going in the favor of Truerippers. And now we are heading to Fracture, a map which we honestly cannot predict anything on because it's way too new and nobody's comfortable with this one. So let's see what the lineup will be like. Now, people say that you need a lot of information in Fracture. That's what the theory says. You need information. So you need Cypher, you need Killjoy, you need Sova, and you need Sky. But then there's an equally opposing theory that says that Fracture is the one map where you can have fun and you can pick up 5 duelists. So there's like 2 very different contrasting philosophies of Fracture. And let's see which one of these philosophies do these teams abide by.
It looks like, you know, that's a, you just said information, but I don't see an initiator. Okay, there. Master has it. But on the other side of things, they've gone for the initiator in terms of somebody who does not really give as much information. Breach, he's more of a, you know, damage inflicting initiator rather than an informational initiator. So, oh, they've gone for, they've gone for a dual initiator. Okay, I like this. M42 are switching things up. They've got a Sky and a Breach. On the other side of things, there is a Sova, but there is a Raze as well. A Raze on Fracture. It's actually, I don't mind that choice at all because, you know, there's a lot of close corners. So the grenades can do damage. The Boombot can find corners. You know, if they have a lineup to get the Boombot to clear out corners, you know, on the map, yeah, pretty great. But right now, it is M42 on the attack. And they are going to have fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's not wait anymore. The first ever Fracture competitive map in the TEC Gauntlet coming up on your screens right now, courtesy of Truerippers.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't really know what to expect. You've got everything unpredictable. A new map. I was expecting to see a Yoru as well, but yeah, M42 decided against it. So let's see. Yeah, let's take a look at the lineups. You have One Tap God on Viper, Crosshair on the Raze, Master on Sova, Paradox on Jet, and then Bones on Killjoy. So One Tap God and Bones have just switched together roles. One Tap God not going for the duelist anymore, picks up the Viper instead. Sam on Breach, Venom on Omen, Riggs on Killjoy, Hyper on the Jet, and then Evo on the Sky. And right off the bat, it seems to be like a B crunch. You have 2 people coming in from B Arcade, 2 people coming in from B Main. The flashes are perfect, and Hyper does go inside. More flashes to follow, but that's a team flash, and Hyper can't really get this one done. Gets one kill, but at the cost of a lot of his HP, and he can't get healed from this position. Truerippers now coming in from behind. The low player already dealt with Riggs, holding an off angle of sorts along with his turret, which means he can go ahead and challenge these angles. But Truerippers, they walk into a double peek as they try to take control of the towers once more, and nothing going on for the side of Truerippers as Riggs finally makes this one work. He puts up the garage so that the generators area is under control, And when they realized nobody's coming in from defender spawn, they decided to reinforce the tower area instead so the arcade push can be dealt with.
They've made their way to Fracture, and the first pistol has gone away from them. Paradox could have probably made an impact, but that first shot was beautiful onto Hyper. He was low in HP, but that's okay. And they make up for it. M42. Good standing early on. Try and keep the pace in their hands. They should be doing that with this round as well. As they move in again towards A stairs. They've got a lot of TAR players to face off here. They know it, so they hold back a bit. Sure, Bones. Need to take care of the backstab as well. One tap got pushed up towards B lobby. It'll be difficult. Venom actually finds the first kill. This time instead of Killjoy, he is playing the Omen. And the Master hasn't spotted out. He almost got a kill, but Sam's gonna take him out. Hyper gets another, and this eco round is pretty much as we expected it to be. A clean sweep for M42. Unless Paradox can get one. No, not gonna happen. Nope. Venom gets a 3K. It's gonna be the second on the board for M42.
At least the first 2 rounds were clean, so they do have a hope of coming back in this series. But now that Truerippers will have proper weaponry in the form of Phantoms and Vandals, will these Spectres be able to go up against them? They need to close in the distance if they want to make them work, but that is probably not going to be possible. All the angles in Fracture can be long if the Trueripper players decide to pick these angles aggressively. But if they decide to let them get up close and personal, well then M42 can probably deal with them.
Maybe.
Free aggression from the side of Truerippers right off the bat. Have the flashes flying in, but they will be unaffected. And Viper's being tagged. Paradox can go ahead and try to challenge him. Double peek available, and this area has been dealt with. No more aggression from B main. Now let's see if they can kill the Breach and the Venom coming in from the side of Arcade. Venom sneaks in, so Master's been dealt with, but Bones does bring it back.
Oh?
More to follow as Fractures keep on going left, right, and center towards the B side, but finally a little bit of action on A as the Breach now falls back and takes position over there. Yo, this is a little weird because M42 are kind of split up. Yeah, they have no trading potential, and Venom is already pretty low on HP.
It's done. This round pretty much done and dusted. 36 HP on Venom. There's not much you can hope for. Maybe a single kill. Bones could be giving it to him, but there's a turret. Could be looking in his general direction any second now. That smoke is going to deny it, though. And they have an idea. Bones knew exactly where that smoke came from. He went ahead and got the kill. First round on the board for Truerippers as they are getting back up on their feet. And now M42, they've got the feel of things. They've held on to their ground in the first 2. Are they going to give away this lead? It's the question, because now their first prize coming in. We can see a couple of strategies being put into place by them. They're constantly hitting that B side, Crips. They have a real affinity to it, it looks like. I mean, when I started playing this side, you know, there was a lot of times even I went to that B main side and B tunnels to try and get a, you know, a little bit of a crossfire action coming from under and then crossing the head all the way under the side, coming from the other side. For now, they're attracted towards the B main. ENIGMA spots nobody out. And every single one of M42 players are here.
Yeah, all of them coming in from B main, nobody going for a split approach. This should be an easy enough site for Truerippers to defend. A one-way smoke, and that's been put up by M42. This works against them. They finally fixed it. But that's completely okay. Paradox won't be able to take part in the action indicated. But the moment they try to push in towards the towers region, there's a judge waiting for them. They think they're safe for now, but if they try to swing that corner, they're going to be met with a very unpleasant surprise. M42 do have the option to fall back, but they need to recover the spike for that one. Wrong smokes deployed too, which kind of blocked out the vision for Paradox, but at this point he can see everything. And there's still 30 more seconds before Venom can get his smoke online. At least he's dealt with Crosshair, so it brings it back to a 3v3. One more dark cover deployed, but it doesn't fully cover them. Paradox playing on the other side. It will create a head tilt jangle, but Paradox, even though he gets flashed, he isn't killed. He knows one player moved in towards Canteen, so he repositioned directly on the side, now playing in tandem with the Killjoy, and they both double peek.
Oh no. One tap god didn't really know. I don't think they actually knew about it, but it's okay. We've got 2 players alive, and Master's gonna make sure that he's the one who kills Venom off. Caused a lot of problems, but those smokes, like you said, Crips, I mean, they couldn't even enter the site. Even though they had the smokes down, they couldn't enter the site because the one thing that they couldn't cover off in that entire situation was the side of B Arcade and B Generator, right? Because that's straight cut through where you got the defender side spawn, and Canteen was the only place where Paradox was sitting. So they didn't really have that great smoke, so they had to worry about one angle constantly while they looked at the other towards B Heaven. And that's gonna be the end of the round for them. 2-2, and now they're on an eco as M42 make their stride towards A.
Well, let's see if this A hit works or not. The B hit was not really that successful. It seems like most of them will be trying to go towards A main, and that aggression has been dealt with. So the remaining 3 players are towards the dish side, where Bones is holding this area down. The flash is perfect. Finally, they can deal with him. No more backup available from that side as well. But the moment I say that, Paradox jumps into rescue, and he's got the first kill. The Nanoswarm won't do anything, and Riggs won't even be able to fall back. Truerippers, they're finally back in form.
Yep. 3-2. They got the lead back in their favor. They would have wanted it to be, but M42 honestly are not looking too bad, to be honest, Crips. They have given away 3 rounds, but that doesn't mean that, you know, they're just gonna give it up so easily. We still have a lot of rounds to go and a lot of avenues in this map to look at how exactly it's gonna turn out, who's gonna be playing where, what exactly is the meta that can be formed around this. It's gonna be decided, not decided, but at least looked at through this map. Right now, M42, yet again towards A they go. A lot of information gathered by Emo, sending out his hound to just scout out the area for him.
1 second though. Take a look at the positions of Truerippers. The Sova's already pushing B main. They know that the backstab will be online very quickly. But no, one-tap God's Viper Spit has been dealt with, which means now they can crunch onto the A side very quickly. They need the backstab to come in right now from Sova. All the players of Truerippers who are present on the A side are being forced back by the utility. Very well played by M42 as they step-by-step take control of the site. And now they just need to hold off the retake of 4v4. They have enough men and enough machinery to deal with this. But the timing on Paradox could be great. He can catch Venom off guard by trying to put down a smoke. And now you go. The breach ultimate comes through. This is Truerippers' chance to fight back. But will they be able to do it? Sam is desperately trying to hold on. But the moment he tries to break the lockdown, he's been killed.
His bullets, they just ran out, and that's unfortunate, especially in a situation where you want to destroy the lockdown. Oh, Sam, he must be feeling that in his gut. He knows how unfortunate it is. He knows how much it hurts. And Truerippers, they're going to be getting away with a slight scare. Thanks to Paradox, it wasn't really that much of a problem. And killing off Venom was probably the most important kill over there. And then he got the follow-up as well on to Hyper. But yeah, Truerippers, they have control of the situation so far at least. That ultimate from Breach from Sam could have been a lot more well utilized. I think that somebody had to cover up Paradox earlier when Venom was immediately taken out. And maybe a smoke from Hyper could have helped down that. They could have taken down players bottom. But it wasn't the case. Paradox misses his first shot. Uncharacteristical. But Master, he doesn't miss his Hunter's Fury. Gets 2 kills out of nowhere. Mike being dropped. Emo being surrounded by every single position he can be. Rick throws down his ultimate under B-side, and here comes Truerippers. They're pushing in. Aggression, unparalleled, related to the fact that there is a lockdown or not. And they just love it. And I love it. And it's just absolutely beautiful. A flawless round. What a play.
They're getting pulled and picked apart in multiple directions. M42 tried to make this B hit work. They even committed the lockdown, but the moment they tried to go in, they realized the Truerippers don't want to fall back at all. In fact, they want to counter push them from the other side. And when stuff like that happens, what can you even do? Like, they're literally in your spawn, slaying you.
Turret out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Warning. That's exactly what Truerippers are giving M42 right now. We can be aggressive and we can be really heavy on you. For now, M42 yet again on a eco have lost their initiator in the form of Sam. Versus 5. Paradox going in for another aggressive peek. This guy is unrelenting. Almost connecting it. Hyper was aware of it, but eats a bullet to the head. Dashes away. Not to safety anymore. Pushing in. Bones knows where Emo is. Emo, just about time whether he loses his life or not. Blinds his opponent, but not going to be able to find his kill. Not even being able to damage him. He's down to 43 HP though. Now I just want to take this time to just assess the situation of this. You can see the shift in positions that these guys are putting in.
Spike
right?
down
You can
A.
see, Crips, the Truerippers. Every time they see, you know, the side of wow, M42 coming from one side, they immediately shift their pressure on the other side, trying to find kills over there. So that they don't really have to take pressure from two sides at the same time. And they ease that up. And I love that approach. I love it because they take map control as well as kills.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. The defenders have to play like attackers in this map. The defenders need to be pushing up and taking control of at least one side so that even if they lose the other one, they don't get pinched in between. They have a little bit of map control and at least some avenue of entry into the sites. And that's the thing. They don't even play from the sites itself. They're just playing off of it. They're just attacking everywhere. This time, all the players of M42 want to come in from arcade. And they are making it no secret at all.
Oh, look at this.
In response, you have Team Truerippers pushing up towards B main. They don't spot anyone, and now they can continue focusing on the site once more. Flashes to follow towards tower and towards the site itself. And even though they've taken control, they won't be able to plant with these players positioned over here. Bones already on the backstab. And the turret doesn't spot him. Oh, this is perfect. But the Killjoy himself will spot him out. So
Spike down
the backstabbers
B.
have been dealt with. The flashes are perfect though from the side of the sky on M42. Venom capitalizes on this one. The spike hasn't been planted just yet.
Why,
but
Ricks?
Truerippers, they go all the way around from A main and re-enter from B main. That puts the spikes in the center of the site and Venom stranded towards the generators area.
You can see he is virtually and physically afraid of this. Any push coming in from B main. But what he doesn't know is that it's arcade where these guys are coming in from. His teleports are going to be heard. They're going to be seen as well in just a matter of a couple of seconds. And there it is. Truerippers, I love this approach from there. They're so aggressive. They clear out every single angle they can. They know exactly. It's not even, Crips, it's not even been 15 seconds into the round, right? And they know by pushing in where exactly, you know, the side of M42 are hitting. Because they push in, they find an entire pit completely empty, and now that's theirs for the control. So they can move around completely in that area, and they can come in from any angle they want to, right? And that just gives them so much power in terms of getting, you know, positional advantage over these attackers that M42, quite honestly, are not able to handle. And the one thing about that round I did not understand is why did Ricks have to peek B main against two players? He could have just hidden.
I thought he did not know. So he did spot one player over there. That's the Sova. But he had no idea that the Opera in the form of Paradox would also be present over there.
Oh,
but
I think
considering all of these tactics that Truerippers are deploying, don't you kind of feel that this map was built for them?
Yeah, more or less. I think that's exactly why they chose it. Truerippers yet again on the front foot, going towards now. B arcade. Bones actually finds a kill. They're getting a little more aggressive in 42 themselves. Venom going into his own smoke. Is gonna find a kill. Not a second though. Truerippers, they're holding their ground. Master making sure that the B side is not given away in Wayne. As Crosshairs already on the backstab. And this is just a complete dismantling off the side of M42. Here comes the ultimate. And here he goes. He does not get the kill, but One Tap God is gonna trade it off instead. Riggs, he will find the penultimate kill. And he towards One Tap God. But One Tap God has positioned himself much better and much faster. And M42 fall yet again.
Yeah, but this time they have a Hail Mary push available. They've got the lockdown and the rolling thunder. Both of these can be used in conjunction with each other to clear a site, and then lockdown can be used for post-plant as well. And if something goes wrong, you can always run over to the other side of the map using Venom's teleport.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right, Crips? Because we've seen that they've been so, you know, they've had so much affinity towards the B side. We haven't seen a single play coming towards the A except for that one round where the lockdown came in from the defenders, right? Apart from that, there was no A side play at all. And yet again, they're going towards B. Yet again, they're losing players. One Tap God might have taken out one, but Venom is going to make sure he takes out no more. That Viper Spit has been eliminated, but Master is still alive over here to take care of it. Paradox here to help him out as well towards B main. He spots out the flash. He knows where Emo is. And there's actually all three players off. M42 there, make that 2. Hyper goes down immediately. Emo picks up the operator for himself. Both the initiators here, while Venom is stuck in a corner towards Arcade. And Truerippers are all focusing towards this region. And they're just completely destroying M42. And Venom, I really don't know why he didn't push in from that side to help out his teammates. But now he's going towards A, where he is going to find an open site for sure. But he's got 4 players to face off against. And that is not an easy task, especially when it's Truerippers.
Exactly. The fact that he spot a random nanostorm grenade just being activated kind of makes him feel like Truerippers are aware about his position. He does get the first knock onto Bones though, so that's an opening that he required
30 seconds
desperately. Gonna plant in the open just so he can defend it from A main. But will he be allowed to even go towards A main? The Sova's coming in from that direction. He heard Master needs to win the duel. He does that.
Oh no.
But Valorant is fast enough to back his teammates off.
They came in from 3 different directions to pinch him out, and it was just perfectly done. That smoke, I think, could have covered him if it was a little bit placed to the right, but it was his dedicated use was to get the plant down for himself. And that's what he did.
Round
they
in
have
the
dropped a
half.
couple of weapons, but I don't even think it matters at this point, Crips. It's the last round. Truerippers have all the economy that they need for buying in for another, maybe, I don't know, 10 rounds. That's how much they've built up. Everybody has so much money, and it doesn't even matter at this point. They just are just tearing through. And a desperate situation here for M42. They've got half armor on 4 of their players, a Guardian on Hyper, and except for Venom, nobody really is having that much of an impact on this game in terms of getting kills, are they?
Toxins going up.
3 players of Truerippers on double
And then look at
digits.
this.
And 4 players of M42.
I've got your trail.
That's just ridiculous. At least Masha will find out that there's nobody towards B main. The Rolling Thunder being coming out of main does indicate exactly where they're headed. But look at Paradox, he can just stay here forever. They know that nobody's coming in from satellite area. It's coming from A main, and Crosshair gets zamped through the woodworks. Now that's interesting. The lockdown will force them out, but Crosshair will be caught as he tries to fall back. That does clear up the A side to some extent, but they can't go in just yet. And you know what the worst part is? The spike is in the site, but the planter has just managed to retrieve it. As soon as he tries to go in for the shot, and as soon as Venom does
One enemy remaining.
Wow.
Hunter Scooby will make sure the plant doesn't
Beautiful.
then everyone follows up. See how coordinated Truerippers are. It's like this map was built for them.
Switching sides.
It's utter quality. It's so much quality. The quality of their gameplay is so good. They know when to push. They know when to be exactly as aggressive as possible. They know how to make it controlled aggression. They know when to move in when there's a Hunter Fury coming in. They know when to put down smokes. M42 are just getting outplayed in every single aspect there is. I mean, I know this is their, I know that this is, their early venture into the esports world as a team together, these 5 players, but still, we expected them to perform better than this, right?
Hey, I mean, I'm gonna cut them some slack and tell that
yeah,
this
me
map
too,
belongs to Truerippers. I mean, let's be honest, I really feel like this map was built for Truerippers. They just feel so comfortable in this game. Everything going in their favor. So let's see if they can keep up this momentum against other teams, because for now it does seem like Fracture belongs to Truerippers.
Oh boy.
Out and throughout. Paradox using the flashes of the breach against his own team. That's amazing now, because despite all the counter utility, Truerippers can make their way into the A side.
Spike
Nothing to
planted.
contest them, and a 4v5 retake will be difficult when Truerippers have all the utility in the world, and M42 have already used up theirs in hopes of keeping Truerippers off the site. They try to take control of the doors. They need to swing wide, both at the same time, but there's a crossfire over there, and even the alarm bots will make them vulnerable. Nothing is going on. Only one frag does go in the favor of one player from Satellite, but that is it. That's all she wrote for them. Uncontested, unparalleled, Truerippers. They are the true kings of Fracture.
Clearly, I'm loving this showcase of skill by them. I have to say M42 are struggling, but like you said, we genuinely have to cut them some slack. They need time, and they need a lot more practice. They need a lot more, the coordination between each other, which comes in when there's a team like Truerippers who, to be honest, have stuck around for so long together. They're like, it's like 5 brothers who know exactly what to do when the other one's doing something different, right? They're just amazing. And look at this Crosshair holding down this angle. Venom just running through past him. Gonna give up his life pretty easily. And M42 struggling to find some ground as they've forced into this. And they're just losing players one after the other, and this probably could be the end of it.
Spike planted.
Rips, I think this forced buy, as soon as they lose it,
enemy
it's done and
remaining.
dusted. Because the next round, no money,
Flawless.
it's over. It's gonna be Truerippers to take this 2-0.
W key supremacy.
Match point.
I mean, at one point you had Riggs just hoping to sell the fake of a backstab by opening the door. He decides to fall back from that position, realizing that his team needs him to defend much more than actually faking a backstab. But then consider this, you have Paradox already deep into B-Link, and he's fighting them from the rope room area just next to defender spawn. He's literally in their spawn and shooting them down. What else can you expect from Paradox? Sam sees 5 people at once, almost sees his death flash before his eyes, using all the utility he can to delay them, but there can be nothing to stop this push from Truerippers as they overwhelm the B side with massive numbers. And you've got Paradox already deep into the enemy spawn. He dinks one player too, and he will follow up once
One
more.
enemy remaining.
Crosshair gets
Really?
taken down in a very comical fashion as he was trying to use the boom bot, but
Okay.
hey, that's just some funny
Venom.
business because they know Venom can't do anything but lose this one. What tries to
is
go for a
Venom?
longer flank?
Oh,
It's
that's
just
gonna
end
waste
up
so much
pulling more
time.
Exactly, man. Exactly. He's gonna have nothing left.
Yeah, the spike's so deep into the side. By the time he reaches there, it's gonna have ticked off at least 25 seconds.
And he gets
And-
detected by the dart.
And he's gonna get killed as well. There it is. It's done and dusted.
Attackers
Truerippers,
win.
an absolute domination from them. And this is the only man I want to look at. Look at this guy, Paradox. Okay, he's what is he writing down? He's writing. What is he writing down? What's he writing down? I
he's
really want to know. What is it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, it's Death Note. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, Paradox. Okay. So he's is it Light Yagami? Is that what it's called?
No. He's the Shinigami himself. He's the Grim Reaper.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. His outfit makes him kind of look like it. But
Yeah.
Paradox, he has shown absolute dominance. Both the maps, he's just crazily taken. I don't even know, dude. He's 23 kills here, 28 kills in the previous one. This guy's made his way along with Deathmaker, I believe, on the MVP standings already, as we are gonna see it at the end of the week. But I have no words. I'm done. We're gonna have a look at the match highlights because it was not. I don't even think it was match highlights. It was Trueripper highlights.
Yeah, this kind of was. I mean, M42 felt out of their depth. They felt very uncomfortable. They tried to do these standard tactics in the attacking side, like crunching onto B from both the areas, and it worked for them in like 2 rounds. But other than that, nothing. The moment Truerippers got their hands on the big guns, they started to push out, and then M42 could neither attack nor could they hold and wait for the pushes of Truerippers. Even if they did try to hold, Truerippers, they decided to fall back and they went from some other direction and they completely bamboozled M42. It was kind of like a push and pull motion where if one player gets in trouble, the other player from the other side will help him out. And they don't lose control of the side from both the angles. If you have M42 pushing in from A main, then Truerippers will make sure that the satellite area is under their control. And this comical round is a big indicator of that.
Yeah, it's just, I don't even think that at this point you could say any round was not comical because it's just the way that these guys are playing. This is not something you see happen normally, right? This much aggression, this much, total dominance is completely unthinkable because Truerippers, even when they were being put down, right? They just did not give up, dude. Not even for a single round did they give up on their pushes. Every single avenue they found was empty. They pushed right into it. It's like water running into a container that's empty and taking the shape of it. It doesn't really care. It's just they take its shape and they adapt, and they did it so well. And the fact that Truerippers lost the first 2 rounds and after that they didn't give away a single one, Crips. Not one.
Not a single one. Sure, there were a couple of whiffs here and there, like Crosshair not being able to land the showstopper like that. But his teammates made up for it. They knew exactly where the enemies were. All the attempts of M42 to fake or maybe play some brain games were completely read. And why won't Truerippers read it? They control 90% of the area on the map. They push out and take every place for themselves. So when they've got everything under their control, there's not much that Team M42 can do to fake. There's not much that they can do to tactically outplay them. All that they can do is hope that they get some kills. But they never got those kills. Like, take a look at the individual scores. Paradox has an average combat score of 414. That's ridiculous. 400 ACS? That's rare, man. That's super rare. That's like finding a diamond in a coal mine. You have him at 23 kills. Everyone from the side of Truerippers on
Crazy.
double digits.
Dude,
And only
this-
one player on M42 in double digits. Everyone else below 7 frags.
Oh my god, this is 414 ACS. I mean, people in this tournament don't even get that many kills in a total. I mean, there's only a handful that cross that number, and this guy's got that much ACS. It's just crazy, dude. What a guy. 13-3, 13-2. Did not expect this. At least I thought in Icebox we would have more of a fight coming in, Crips, but damn, what a goddamn performance. Let's just, I mean, at this point, let's just have a look at the groups. I mean, if there was group standings, let's just have a look at them. But if there was bonus points for, you know, dominant performances, I think I would give Truerippers another +2 just for that.
It's kind of like that, you know, the pencil ad where the I don't remember which brand it was, but it was
Extra
kinda
marks
like
for good
extra
handwriting.
marks for good
Yeah.
handwriting. Yeah. So over here, Paradox gets extra marks for style points. And this is his first game of the tournament. They win it 2-0. That too with 13-3 and 13-2 scorelines. That's a very clean win. I expected this game to go on till at least like 7 o'clock, but now it's like 6:20 and we're already done here.
Exactly. And now we've got another crazy matchup coming in later. It's Team Exploit versus SADUL Esports. And that's going to be a whole other story to take care of. Roster shifts for that team. XT69 players, ex-ENIGMA players. There's everybody in the mix. One of the best teams from Pakistan as well. It's going to be a whole lot of chaos in the 8 p.m. match, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot to talk about that one. For now, though, we're pretty much done and dusted for this one. There is nothing more to tell. Truerippers have taken their first stride to getting towards the playoffs yet again. M42, their first step hasn't really been that great. But hey, never say never. They will make a comeback. I believe in it. And they just need a little bit more time. And me and Crips, we're going to take a little bit of time as we're going to come back much later for the 8 p.m. game. It's been a hell of an evening, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to take your leave now. You are watching the Tec Gauntlet Season 3, powered by Ballistix and Crucial, with our apparel partner 656. And don't forget, guys, go to the description down below to get some great deals from our sponsors. And always, always make sure to support your team like you did today as well, I'm pretty sure in the chat. And go ahead and hit that like and notifications bell icon button to get more updates about when we go live with these matches, because it's only getting better and better from here. This is a group of death. We're going to have a lot more matches coming in. And even the group A has got some pretty great teams. So TC Gauntlet only gets better. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with the 8 p.m. game shortly. Thank you for joining us and happy gaming.